This is DevAI, focusing on the newest developments in AI and the legal space. Please subscribe to my channel. Microsoft, its subsidiary GitHub, and its business partner OpenAI have been targeted in a proposed class action lawsuit, alleging that the company's creation of AI-powered coding assistant GitHub Copilot relies on software piracy on an unprecedented scale. The case is only in its early stages, but could have a huge effect on the broader world of AI, where companies are making fortunes trading software and copyright-protected data. The case involves GitHub Copilot and claims that the software focuses on software piracy of an unprecedented scale. Copilot, which was unveiled by Microsoft on GitHub in June 2001, is trained on public repositories of code scraped from the web, many of which are published with licenses that require anyone reusing the code to credit its creators. Copilot has been found to regurgitate long sections of licensed code without providing credit, prompting this lawsuit that accuses the company of violating copyright law on a massive scale. GitHub Copilot is a cloud-based artificial intelligence tool developed by GitHub and OpenAI to assist users of Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio, NeoVim, and JetBrains integrated development environments by autocompleting code. Currently available is it by subscription to individual developers, and the first tool was announced in June 2021 and works best for users coding in Python, JavaScript, TypeScript, and Ruby. In June 2021, GitHub announced that they have GitHub for technical preview in the Visual Studio Code development environment. GitHub Copilot was released as a plugin on the JetBrains in October 2021, and then GitHub released also the GitHub Copilot NeoVim plugin as a public repository. For Visual Studio Code 2022 IDE, Copilot was made available in March 2022. Furthermore, in June 2022, GitHub announced that Copilot was out of technical preview and is available as a subscription-based service for individual developers. When provided with a programming problem in natural language, Copilot is capable of generating solution code. It is also able to describe input code in English and translate code between programming languages. According to its website, GitHub Copilot includes assistive features for programmers, such as conversion of code comments to runnable code and autocomplete for chunks of code, repetitive section of code, and entire methods or functions. GitHub reports that Copilot's autocomplete feature is accurate roughly half of the time. With some Python function header code, for example, Copilot correctly autocompleted the rest of the function body code 43% of the time on the first try and 57% of the time after 10 attempts. GitHub states that Copilot's features allow programmers to navigate unfamiliar coding frameworks and languages by reducing the amount of time users spend reading documentation. The lawsuit was filed by programmer and lawyer Matthew Butterick together with the help of San Francisco-based Joseph Savile law firm, referring to that they are challenging the legality of GitHub Copilot. The filing parties state that this is one of the first class action cases in the US to challenge the training and output of AI system. Specifically, Matthew emphasizes that the AI systems are not exempt from the law and that the creators and operators of these systems have to be accountable for the systems. The lawsuit is still in its early stages, and particularly the court has not yet certified the proposed class of programmers who have allegedly been harmed. But the expectation is that the case to have a huge impact on the wider world of generative AI. Microsoft and OpenAI are far from alone in scraping copyrighted material from the web to train AI systems for profit. Many text-to-image AI, like the open source program Stable Diffusion, were created exactly in the same way. The firms behind these programs insist that the use of this data is covered in the US by the Fair Use Doctrine. But legal experts say this is far from settled law, and the litigation like Butterick's class action lawsuit could upend the tendency to find status quo. One section of the lawsuit I thought was particularly interesting was on a very close but mercifully defined business relationship between Microsoft and OpenAI. In 2016, OpenAI said it would run its large-scale experiments on Microsoft's cloud, that Microsoft has exclusive licenses for certain OpenAI products, and that Microsoft has invested $1 billion in OpenAI, making it both OpenAI's largest investor and service provider. Microsoft is trying to use as a perceived beneficial OpenAI as a shield to avoid liability. They're trying to filter the research through this nonprofit to make it fair use, even though in most cases it's not. It's a for-profit business. Its job is to make money for its investors, such as ChatGPT has shown. It may be controlled by a nonprofit, such as OpenAI, but the board of that nonprofit are all business people. In general, the intention is not known, but it seems to be that it doesn't follow the original mission of OpenAI. As ChatGPT has shown, it's primarily a collective scheme between Microsoft, OpenAI, and GitHub that may not be as beneficial or altruistic as it might be outlined. This lawsuit will be very interesting to watch within the coming months. For the latest on artificial intelligence and law, please subscribe to my channel, DefAI. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.